Hello, pillocks, posh boys and pandas, one and all. I'm sure it's a comfort to see me here. This is where I got that idea of alliteration from, a panda. No idea whether you saw it, don't really care either. No, I just thought I would switch on, the panda just fell off the shelf there, I can't edit it out, that I'd just switch the camera on and show you all that I'm living and breathing. Just bring you over a cup of tea and a chin wag. Actually, tea is kind of relevant, not just because of the American saying of spilling it, referring to gossip, but also because of a number of observations I've been making over the years. Well, not over the years, but yeah, over the past year or so, months or so, that I've been absent. Because although I've not been making videos, I've still lurked about making the odd observation here and there when I've had access to a computer. Excuse me for looking so informal, by the way. Excuse the lack of tie, the lack of button at the top. It's just that I'm recovering from a cold, or more specifically a cough, and I'm more fearful than anything that I'm going to cough all over the place and splutter the more I talk, so I'm just getting it out as quickly as I can. No. Yes, so I've just been commenting here and there on various videos I've seen when I've had access to somebody else's computer, usually a library computer. I'll probably upload this on a library computer. And it's really been rather interesting to observe all the changes that are going on, not just with YouTube, but with YouTubers. One of the more interesting things that's come up in, well, not just come up, but come out, I think is probably a better expression, is something that I actually knew about. I was on Wikipedia before it even happened, so it's something I knew about, but it's only just emerged on YouTube, really. And that's about the YouTuber referring to Charlie McDonnell. And as I say, I was on Wikipedia. What was I doing? I was looking up some form of records, because people used to win prizes and stuff on YouTube, and Charlie McDonnell's name came up. Charlie McDonnell, also known as, for people that have been here a long time, Charlie is so cool, like. And then at the end of the video, Stephen Fry's voice, you'd have the almost imponderable joy of watching Charlie is so cool, like, which makes you like cool. But as I was reading the Wikipedia article, I noticed that in the very first paragraph it referred to Charlie as a she. I thought, that's a little strange. And it turns out, I read this at the bottom of it, and then a few days ago, Charlie did mention that indeed he is a she now. Presumably Charlie is no longer a corruption of Charles, but of Charlene, or Charlotte, or something like that. And of course, impulsively, one wants to have the politically correct response of saying, congratulations, Charlie, I support you totally, I'm glad you're making this step, this transition. And that indeed is reflective of what most of the comments, her comments, not his, I mustn't slip, I know I'll get pounced on if I do, say. But I have to admit I had a rather different response when I first read it, and I think the reason for that is a long, long time ago, Charlie McDonnell has gone through multiple phases on YouTube of having a bit of a purge of videos, so you wouldn't know this. But there was a video that when he was a he, made, in which he set a challenge saying, have you ever done something illegal? And I made a video called something like nonsensical gibberish or something like that. Whatever it was called, it was my first cooking video. It was about, and it was, first cooking video. It wasn't meant to be, that's what it turned out looking like. And And what's interesting about that is that for a long time it seemed odd that I'm making a video to somebody, to a video that no longer, in response to a video that no longer existed. And now to know that the person to whom I sent that video in effect no longer exists is, well, it took a lot to process. Made me ponder. Really made me ponder. Having said that, I was about 25, maybe 26 when I wrote that. Well, didn't even write it, I was that haphazard when I made it, all over the place. 25, 26 when I filmed that video. Charlie McDonnell was only slightly younger, I think. And of course, I'm probably not the same person that I was when I made that video. Those of you who are 25 are likely not the same people you were when you were 15, and if you are, then you shouldn't be, is all I can say. So maybe this is just another step of life, I'm not sure. But it made me ponder. Really made me ponder. So, yeah, after the initial recovery, all I can say is, well, congratulations, Charlie. Hope you're making the right decision. Hope you go to the next step, and I hope whatever follows in your position isn't too painful. It's all you can say, isn't it? Good luck. Well done. And may the best woman win. But it got me thinking of a wider topic here on YouTube. Not really on the subject of that specific thing, but of YouTubers generally who've changed over the years. OG YouTubers. I've been classified as an OG YouTuber simply because I was there almost from the beginning. Made the account in 2006. Can't remember when I first uploaded my video, but if you were to scroll entirely down, that would be deceitful, because there are a few I made that I either unlisted or made private. So in fact, my first video isn't my first video that you can see at all. And but I know that one of the videos that I did make was in 2012, a tribute video. I think it was then. And when it's now, well, it's now past 2022, isn't it? So that's over a decade old. It's 2023 now. So, yes, I'm probably not the same person there, but what's interesting looking at other OG YouTubers like Shane Dawson, I mean, what can I even say on that level? Shane Dawson, you know, I made a video about Shane Dawson not long ago, when he had his big scandal, his big cancellation, so to speak, being accused of racism and bigotry and all the rest of it, and I put it in context, not defending him, not excusing him, I'm just saying this is how it was in YouTube, on YouTube, and in fact on television at the time. This is what other YouTubers did. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying it's the reality, and it explains it a lot better than if you just clip lots of things about him together in context. You can't explain, you can't excuse the stuff that he did with his cousin. I'm not going to. But maybe let's focus on that thing alone, because that to me seems like the worst accusation or thing that's been charged or levelled at him. But now he's gone and got himself a fresh scandal, hasn't he? He's got himself mixed up with somebody called Destery Smith, is that his name? Captain Des used to be his name. I know that they've collaborated before. Why they're still together, I have no idea. This is why, by the way, I said it's relevant, because people think of Charlie as so cool, like associate him with tea, because everyone who thinks of an Englishman, or Englishwoman, as I guess he is now, associates us with tea, because we used to own tea plantations. Historically, the French and the Spanish invested more in coffee and cocoa, hence the cultural difference there. It's lovely tea. But, back to Destery Smith, or Captain Des, he also has been immersed in scandal. What are you doing, Shane Dawson? Who are your friends? Why are they your friends? You know, after a certain time, you can only really go so far. And I remember a person, you know, and a lot of people kind of broke off from him. And actually, back in the day, it's different, but Charlie McDonnell broke off from Alex Day, another big OG YouTuber. He used to read Twilight books, making fun of them. Neramon. And make fun of them. And he sort of vanished off the face of the earth, and then he came back with just a few little videos, but nobody can comment on them. And you look at people like this. You look also at the Shane Dawson's former bête noire, Onision, the Onion Boy. Too much ink has been wasted writing about that fellow. Too many film reels, which I know is an archaism because nobody uses film reels anymore, have been wasted making videos about him. I'm not going to. The same way I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and making fun of his books. I'm too busy making fun of his mother's books, as you may know. Yeah. Mrs. Crow of the Onion Patch. But, you know, so you look at people like that. You look at also a different person. Paperlilies also vanished off the face of the earth, not for the same reason. I used to love her. You've got Michael Buckley, or Buck Hollywood, as he's very seen known, used to do videos called What the Buck. I used to love those, but he's self-censored himself now because he knows he'll get cancelled if he keeps all that stuff up. For the stuff that he used to say. He thinks some of it's fat-shaming or racist or whatever. It's years old, but he's right. It will get raked up and used against him. To be honest, I think he probably does move in that circle where he genuinely thinks that what he said in those videos was wrong, but still. So you've got stuff like this. You've got people like, in another way, Niccolado Avacado, as he says. Used to be, I mean, I won't say he was ever good looking, but I suppose he had a kind of baby-faced charm about him. And he was thin. There's no other way of saying it. Now he's morbidly, I'll even say tragically obese. He cannot be more than 30. Looks like he's early 20s. But since he moved over to mukbang videos, which quite simply are videos where you just stuff your face, he's bloated out. Now, most people in the mukbang community, some of them are obese, but some of them are smart enough to only do it once a week, or to balance it out with something healthy. Not so Mr. Avocado. He's got to the point where he can't walk, basically. He used one of those electric scooters, which, you know, I've seen older people who are overweight doing that, but when you're still young, still basically young, I can't understand it. And he admits himself in his videos that all he ever does within them is eat and cry. It's self-harm. There's no other way of saying it. And people watch it for the morbid fascination of the whole thing, the spectacle. And you're sort of watching all this, and you're sort of wondering, is that actually how YouTubers that have been around here for a long time manage to stay relevant, either by deleting some of their former stuff or reinventing themselves? Now, I know that in the case of Charlie McDonnell it's a bit different, because she would say that she had to do that. She had no choice. He was always a she, he just didn't know it. So it's not really reinventing in the same way. But still, is that the only way to get viral now? Do we always have to sort of find new ways of making new scandals in the way that Onision does? Actually, that's not true. He's kind of remained consistent. He's remained consistent by making fresh scandals. So is that how we do it? We make fresh scandals for ourselves, or we find new ways so that people just become morbidly fascinated with us? And I kind of got wondering, in a sense, whether that's the price you pay for being well known on YouTube. I wonder, because TikTok is getting big now, so's Twitch. Well, they are big. They're not getting big, they are big. And I wonder whether, you know, I've only responded to one TikToker so far. I'd say, impulsively I'd have said girl, but apparently she's in her 30s too. Can't be more than early 30s if she is. Who honestly believes that ancient Rome didn't exist, or purports to believe that. I mean, is that what we have to do? We have to pretend that historical events didn't happen. just to make people watch us and become, I don't know, it's really rather interesting. It's interesting in a bad way, in a sense. It sort of makes you wonder, am I safe here? I mean, literally, am I safe? Am I safe precisely because I'm in my little obscure corner of the internet where only a few little favourites watch me here and there? Will they watch me out of pity one day like they do with Mr. Avocado? Will they come on just to hate watch me as with Onision? Or will I just have to become something entirely different, whether bloating myself out in the way of Mr. Avocado, or become a woman like Miss McDonnell has become? Again, I'm not saying that being morbidly obese and being transgender is the same thing. I'm just saying, insofar as it affects the digital world. So, that's really what I've come to the conclusions of. It made me ponder. I'm sorry I can't clear this up, in the sense that I can't edit it because I'm not using my own laptop right now, but lovely tea as always. But actually I rather like this in a way. It's kind of an old, this shows you how long I've been on YouTube, doesn't it? It's an old school vloggy kind of video. Maybe I should do it, I should have done it from my bedroom, shouldn't I? I should have done it in my bedroom, really old school style. Missed a trick there. But I'm just talking out loud. So, no idea how long I've been speaking. Those of you that started watching are probably long gone now. But yes, just switched on to show you how I'm still living and breathing. And my wild speculations as to what happens to you when you, in effect, age for all the world to see. Have I aged? Maybe if you're there, maybe make a video response. Have I changed at all in the past decade? You know, people tell me no, others say yes. Whatever. I'm controversial like that. I divide opinions. So, with that, as ever, ta-ta.